All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the League Two, our episode 21. And I'm pleased to say that my good friend Lee is back this week because it was a little bit different last week, wasn't it? You had to just listen to me rabbit on for an hour, which is never fun for anybody. So it's good to have you back, mate. You well?
Yeah, it's good to be back off nights because they're horrendous. I hate them. But I've done my stint, so they can't moan at me now.
Back to normal, back to normal. Right, so how many we got? We've got 10 watching already, which is great to see. And we shall start with little Finley. He's in the chat. Evening, buddy. Hope you're good.
Evening, Finn.
Troy's watching again as well. I like this. We're getting quite a regular core audience, aren't we? Which is brilliant. Yeah, good evening to Troy. Julian, Gills fan, says, good evening, Matt and Lee. Evening, buddy. Welcome to the chats. Yeah, not a full quota this week, was it? I think there was 10 games in the League Two over the weekend. But there was a couple of games last week, so we'll start with them quickly. I know Grimsby played their weekend game last Wednesday, and I think Swindon had a game in hand. So, yeah, last Wednesday there were games which involved Grimsby and Accrington, and that finished 1-0 the way of the home side. Tyrrell, Sellers, Fleming scoring the winner for the Mariners, and Swindon beat Newport County by 2-0 at the county ground. Fletcher Holman and Joe Thomas own goal, which was rather comical if anyone has seen it. Saw Ian Holloway's men win by 2-0. So that was the little bit of housekeeping that got us up to date. And then, of course, 10 games Saturday. Not loads of goals this week, mate, but some really interesting fixtures all the same.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, just because it's FA Cup, it's nice to have a. You said 10 games, so about 10 games, wasn't there? So it's nice to cover it. Because obviously, sometimes, yeah.
Grimsby and Salford were in FA Cup action, weren't they?
There was, yeah. Obviously, Grimsby, I think, got beat by Wolves at home, and Salford obviously lost to City. I think they were at 2-0 in the end.
To be fair, that's a good result. No disrespect, I think they went there last season, didn't they? And got bashed 7 or 8. So, huge credit to both David Artell and Carl Robinson's teams for keeping League Two on the map against the bigger boys. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about Grimsby a little bit and their carpet-like surface at the moment, which does seem to be doing the rounds on social media. Those at the top of the game weren't a fan, but we called it a leveller.
I did the Boston abandoned grounds, and loads of people have commented on my TikTok. Like I did a shorter one, and loads have said it was Grimsby's pitch.
That's what we love about lower league, though, and it acts as a real leveller when you get the Premier League teams come into town and they're used to the carpets where they can knock it around. So yeah, credit to the groundsman for getting it on as well, because the weather's been absolutely horrendous.
I was just about to say, I can't remember a month we've had so much rain. It's been ridiculous. Like today, I don't know what it's been like down here, but it's been like sunny, so it just feels weird not to be at work, absolutely soaked wet through, to see the sun.
Yeah, we had a bit of sunshine, but there's been rain as well. But yesterday down here was just I think from about the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, it was just absolutely belting it down. So yeah, fair play to groundsmen up and down the divisions at the moment, doing really well to get games on, because it's not great fun. Right, we've got Simon Bradshaw, Oldham fan. He's in the chat. Evening, Matt and Lee. Evening, Simon. Welcome back. A big up for Lee from Chris the Butcher, who says, just want to thank Lee for his support and cracking footage of Oldham last season. Here. Yeah, absolutely cracking footage. Even if you're not an Oldham fan, you can't help but get swept along. Such is the quality of Lee's vlogging. That's enough compliments from me, though.
Yeah.
Luca Talks Dons is in the chat. He says, big up. Evening to Luca. Simon says Oldham were lucky to get a point in their game against Fleetwood. Matt Hudson, great saves. Again, one of the best keepers in League Two for me. I don't know about you, Lee, but certainly top 3 in the division, Matt Hudson.
Yeah, I have to totally agree. I know he come under a bit of criticism last season in National League, a little period, but for me, he's proven himself to be a real, like, obviously, unbelievable keeper. If it weren't for him, maybe they'd been struggling a little bit more, because, like you say, some of the saves he's made been absolutely ridiculous. I think there were one way I can't even remember who it was, and the stops that he made were just incredible.
Yeah, I think they did well to keep hold of him in January, to be fair. Mickey Mellon at the other end of the pitch, which is really frustrating because we had him down as something of a point of difference, didn't we, for the second half of the campaign? But you'd imagine now they're just probably going to stay where they are at the moment. We'll get to their game in a little while, but they just seem to have sort of stalled a little bit. But still, a decent season. We've said that all along for them and Barnet, haven't we? That, coming up, consolidating, go again next year and all them types of cliches. But they're true. It's a funny.
What's interesting with Oldham is we've spoke about where we think is a good season, but do they obviously, to improve, do they see Mickey Mellon as that man? I know he got promoted back to the Football League, but
Simon would be the man to answer. Simon or Chris the Butcher, I think it was. Another excellent. That'd be one for you, Lee. You do love it. Can we have some context to that one, Chris, please? Lee likes to know the backstory to everyone's weird and wonderful usernames.
They're brilliant.
So perhaps Chris and Simon can answer that more than we can. But I know Pete Wild's available, who did have a spell there previously, I believe, and did fairly well. So one to keep an eye on. Like you say, it depends what Oldham want to be next season and where they want to get to.
Yeah, 100%.
Got Kevin Hawthorne is in the chat. Evening, Kevin. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Look at that. International, the League 2 hour. Fair play. Appreciate that. Watching from the other side of the pond. Who do you support, Kevin?
Go on, give me a Barrow or someone.
I'll be outstanding. Anything. Well, anything League 2 from America is brilliant. Absolutely. Yeah, Kev, let us know who your team is. Who disappoints you on a regular basis.
Either that or he's one of them where he's flicking on YouTube and he's just sitting out.
Just knocked on the right by mistake. Bless him. Kev, welcome anyway.
Big up. Subscribe if you know.
Going on. Yeah, exactly. Both channels. Simon says, going on about carpets, Oldham's pitch is really good at the moment, maybe as the rugby team were thrown out. Yeah, I'll see some... Mark Halliwell, who's the Cheltenham journalist who's in our WhatsApp group, was very complimentary about Barnet's as well, which looked really, really nice given the weather that we've had for the last few weeks. I mean, you're 2/3 of the way through the season as well now, so they're going to start cutting up. We go. We got a couple more. We got another comment from Simon coming about Pete Wild. I've seen the words. We'll get to that in a sec. Mitch Beadle, 1819, is in the chat. Good evening, gents. Missed a few of these, but here for this one. Love that, Mitch. Welcome back, mate. We're in a good mood. So we won't book you for missing shows.
No.
And Simon says, noticed in the 1895 bar, Pete Wild was there on Saturday, but he lives in Royton and comes to Oldham regularly. So, yeah. You trying to create a rumour there, Simon?
I know he's a big old...
Exclusive. That's going on. That's going on X.
Yeah, get it on.
Pete Wild spotted at the Oldham game. Why not? Here we go. And Chris is back in and he says, staying up this season for me was definitely important. As for Mickey Mellon, if he's not keeping us up, that's good. So, yeah, so Chris seems to think that Mellon is still the man. Yeah, and more importantly, Chris, we want to know the backstory. Maybe he's just a butcher, Lee.
What sort of butcher? Because you remember the old school films, we've heard about them butchers. Look, Chris.
We don't judge.
I know.
But if you're just a regular, generic butcher, we do like talking about food on this channel, so you're right. You are a butcher. What is the most popular flavoured sausage?
And if you're the butcher...
And that's not a euphemism for anyone who starts thinking dirty thoughts and putting stuff in the chat. I'm talking strictly bangers of mash.
Yeah. By the way, I had a good pie mash on Saturday. Outstanding.
Didn't have pie Saturday. We because we were treated by the club for going all the way to Crewe. So we had Benny's famous fish and chips on the coach on the way back, which was absolutely outstanding. I mean, it always tastes nice when you've not had to pay for it, but it was really, really good.
So Gills pay for that, do they?
Yeah. We've had it a couple of times this season. I think Fleetwood before Christmas as well. They take your order before you get there and it's all on the coach when you get back, which is quite nice when you've just lost 1-0 and it's freezing cold and you walk onto a coach that smells of freshly cooked chips and salt and vinegar. You can't go too far wrong, can you? And it makes the journey home a little bit more enjoyable. Anyway, I'm hungry. I've only just eaten.
I'll tell you what were funny from your game. I don't know if you've seen the clip. Crewe fans giving it and Gill fans giving it to each other. And there's that Gills fan that's getting it. Obviously, you know what football fans like.
Yep.
And then there's the clip after game. He's hiding in pub. The Gills fan because they're all outside.
Because we come out and we was on the coach, and as we went past one of their boozers, the police were getting involved. It looked like they were separating two groups, but I'm assuming it might have been Crew fans and Gills fans. It might have just been a time
you just
for
see
that.
him in window, just like a coward. Sorry, lad, sorry.
Right, Matt is in. The Gills fan says, hope we can beat Cheltenham tomorrow. If not a 0-0 or 1-1 draw. Yeah, draw again wouldn't be a bad result in isolation away to Chesterfield, but we need to start winning football matches, don't we? Mitchell's happy we've not given him a one-match ban. No, we don't hand out bans, mate, unless you're very, very naughty. Chris is a butcher.
Yes. He's not answered that, though, is he?
Pork and leek.
There we go.
Like that. Don't mind a pork and leek sandwich. Like a sandwich? Sausage in a sandwich.
Yeah,
sandwich. Anyway, we are 11 minutes in. Shall we talk about some football matches?
Yeah, we better add.
Right.
Oh, change the title.
Yeah, exactly.
The
League Two and Scrad hour. There was a game between Barnet and Cheltenham on a Saturday lunchtime, which finished 0-0. Not a lot happened, apart from a red card for Arkell Jude Boyd in the 9th minute of injury time. We talk about stupid and thick footballers not helping them with themselves with their reputations. Already been booked. Gives away a throw-in, kicks the ball away, and then wonders why he's given a red card.
Yeah, a little bit daft, especially at that time. Because I watching the highlights, he didn't really show you how else, I think.
He backheeled it out of the way, got a red card, and the referee blew full time. I think that was it. What a donut.
Yeah, because it had 99th minute in background, and that was the highlight of the game. But looks of it, but yeah, just daft. There were another one as well, which we'll speak about again. Very, very
we'll
silly.
Get to that, which affects Gillingham tomorrow night. Yeah, missed chances in this one I thought were costly for the Bees. They seem to have the main of this game, but credit for the Robins. That's a big clean sheet and a good point away from them. They've been struggling recently. Cheltenham a little bit after that initial burst since Steve Cottrell come in. I mean, they'll be absolutely fine, but yeah, better point for Cheltenham, I think, that one, mate.
Yeah, because you look at, I'm just looking at the table now, you look at Barnet in 11th, you think if they'd have won that, they're a couple of points off where Crew would have been. So obviously it's still 3 points, but yeah, probably especially at home.
If they'd won that, they'd have been 8th, wouldn't they? Because they'd have gone above Chesterfield on goal difference.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because obviously Chesterfield, yeah. So yeah, you had 2 on that, on goal difference, and then you're breathing down the neck on Crew, which their form isn't amazing.
Just doing enough at the moment. I think they're 5 unbeaten now, to be fair to them, certainly at home. So yeah, they are picking up. They're winning football matches. I mean, if you look at it, they've lost more than Gillingham, but it's 4 more wins, which makes the difference at this stage of the season, particularly, doesn't it?
Of course it does, and we've spoke numerous times on this. You are a couple of wins on being in that position to challenge, and it's all about consistency, getting results, and you never know where you're going to be, especially this period of the season. Obviously, your form is it hit and miss. You'll win one and then you'll drop points or lose. It is frustration, but I think you just get them run of games, and you can find yourself in and around it.
Absolutely. You look at someone like MK Dons, I think we've won 6 of their last 7. Absolutely, like breathing down the neck of the top 2, aren't they? So yeah, there is still a chance for teams like Gillingham, I think, and Barnet, Colchester, if they can put runs together. But my issue, certainly with my club, is there is just no consistency. People moaned that, we drew too many in December. And then people talk and say, well, if you win 1, lose 1, it's more beneficial. But like I say, there's just, if you go and win 1, lose 1 all the time, or win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1, it's which version of your club's turning up. So there's always more risk to it, I think. So interesting one, but we all have different perspectives. Right, Barrow v Colchester United, I think, was the other lunchtime kickoff. And it was a huge win for the Bluebirds to give Dino Marmia the perfect start, having been appointed last week. Niall Canavan's 85th minute strike won this one for the Bluebirds. It's 3 defeats in 4 for Cole U, though, as their playoff bid has hit something of a wall, mate. They're down to 12th at the moment and now 5 points off the top 7. But great start for Black Barrow under Dino Marmia. But I want to ask, Paul Gallagher sacked after 5 games. This is, I mean, we've spoke about giving managers time on this show plenty of times. That is ridiculous. I know they didn't win any games, but how can you judge someone on 5 football matches?
Yeah, you can't. I think it's just the panic button is just absolutely just alarm bells.
Or is it just an admission from the chairman that he got that appointment really, really wrong?
Must be. You've got to be,
But you've got to feel sorry for Gallagher. First job, I think, and it lasts a month. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Barrows, that were their first win at home since 20th of September, I think.
Yeah, they've not been in great form at all, full stop. No. So that wouldn't surprise me, but that gives them a little bit of breathing space, and it's 5 points to the bottom 2 for them now. But yeah, huge win. But yeah, I mean, we saw it in the Premier League as well last week, didn't we? Sean Dyche was sacked by Nottingham Forest with a 41% win record. I know there might have been stuff going on in the background, but I mean, I don't look at the Premier League all the time, but my point there would, what do the Nottingham Forest fans and what do the owner want them to be? They were banging trouble until Sean Dyche took over, and he's the perfect man for a relegation battle. And then you appoint a bloke who got relegated with Wolves last season. I don't understand it.
I know. I'd like you look at. I mean, that Pete Wild one, they're getting sacked by Fleetwood as well. It's
true.
Some I think are a little bit trigger happy. Football, you're not going to win them all. You're going to have bad runs. I think sometimes you can get rewarded for sticking with someone. I think too many trigger happy. I think it stems from the Premier League because you look at clubs that turn over of managers, and I think it then looks as if it's the norm. So clubs in the AFL think, that's what we should be doing. Well, let's do it.
That's what we should be doing because it's working. Yeah, I think they asked Gareth Ainsworth in his pre-match press conference, like ahead of the weekend, because obviously I think the Wednesday was when Dyche and Gallagher were sacked. He said, you're at the point now where like the lifespan of a manager is under a year.
Yeah.
It's absolutely it's baffling to me because how can you build anything? And I'm talking from experience. Yeah. We went through 3-4 managers in about 2 years. So I'm glad. That's why I don't buy into any of this talk about Ainsworth out. We can't just keep sacking managers and starting.
No, you can't. Unless it's drastically going wrong and you can see that the players aren't buying into it. But with Gills, you can see what they're trying to do. It's just
it's probably taken longer than we'd hoped. But yeah, there's still loads of that squad that have seen off 3 other managers, and we've got plenty out of contracts at the end of the season. So for me, Ainsworth will have no excuse next year. If he only keeps a few of them on, releases them, and then gets in a load of his own players, then he'll die on that sword next season, won't he? If it's a success, brilliant. If not, then you can point the finger at Ainsworth and say it's not been good enough. But I'm not being funny. We're 14th. We finished 17th last year. We're scoring more. We're still hard to beat. We're only 4 points off the top half. Playoffs isn't impossible. It's very improbable at the moment. I get that entirely. But we're likely going to finish a few places higher than we did last season. So, yeah, like I know I've gone on a bit of a Gills tangent, but just in general, I think it's mad that our quick clubs just get rid of managers. Anyway, Bromley won.
I think with it, I'm sorry on that. I think sometimes it's just a case of the players stinking the place out. You'll admit yourself with Gills, players haven't been good enough. You can have any manager you want.
There's plenty that have been there that have got rid of. They've been there. They've seen off Neil Harris. They've seen off Stephen Clements. They've seen off Mark Bonner. I'm not going to count John Coleman because he was only ever going to be there for a certain period of time, which I then think it is difficult to motivate yourself. I get that. And I also think it's difficult when you keep getting different instructions every 6-8 months. That must be difficult for footballers to swing it and look at it both ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's 75% of your squad that's seen off 3 different gaffers, you have to point the finger at that group, essentially. It can't always just be a different manager that comes in. Yeah, I don't want to go on about it because I'll get caned by Gills fans. But look, we sacked Neil Harris because we wanted to be a better footballing team.
Yeah.
Second in League 2. He's going to get promoted.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, obviously, managers will bring players in to suit their style of football. So what then, because you've got a couple of results, 3 or 4 bad results, losses, you're then sacking him to bring a manager in that then players probably don't suit his style of play. So
exactly that.
You're then back to square one. It's just like, for me, I'm a big... Unless it's going really, really bad, I think a manager should be given 2 years, I think. If it's not what you can see, if it's not working... Do you
think there should be a window where managers can be sacked? to just protect them a little bit more.
They should,
Right,
but
so
then
we
I
have like
think
a transfer window.
Yeah, I get
Unless
that,
it's like
but
for
then
disciplinary reasons, then it could be. But I don't know. Maybe that we could do a whole show on that, maybe. But we enjoy talking about food more. So anyway, talking of food, Simon's just commented and said, talking of scran, he made his own doner meat and beef mince and garlic flatbreads. They sound well banging, mate. We'll come round yours for dinner next week.
Yeah, we'll do a show from there.
That's it, yeah, like a live one or something, and just like Simon can feed us while we talk about football. Not literally, that'd be weird. Like we'll eat it with a knife and fork, but I mean he can cook.
I'm glad you said it a bit weird.
Ollie says, talk about the Latics. We will get to Oldham's game in a minute, mate. Don't worry, every team does get covered. Welcome to the chat as well. If you're new, like Lee said, please consider subscribing to both channels. Hit like, hit hype, do all that. 28 if you're watching. Let's see if we can get to 30. Greenwich Borough keeper last Monday took out one player and did some break dancing, then nutmeg the next. South East Dons player before clearing the ball upfield. Got to love a ball playing goalkeeper. Simon says the team who Niall Quinn scored for Bristol Rovers on Saturday put money on him scoring. I couldn't believe that. I was talking about him at the ground, saying to Nick, who I do away days with, about how they paid 150k for him. Looked at half time, Joe Quigley penalty, brilliant. So it's halfway to my projected total that I said he'd get for Bristol Rovers, which was 2.
Yeah, I'm sure we said they were like he'd not score 2 or 3 on this.
You said less than 5. You were a bit non-committal. I said he won't get more than 2, so I'm bagging trouble already.
Yeah, you are bagging trouble. Have you got to play him yet? Yeah,
we got him at home because it'll be Steve Evans back for the second time. Just seek me out in the rain event. Like, you up there? Yeah. He will score because he played for us on loan about 9 years ago, and he was absolute toilet then as well. So
he's definitely scoring. As soon as he scores, I'm messaging you.
Oh, absolutely. I'll just be like that. It'd just be like the vlogger just cut off at half time that week.
Yeah.
Father didn't like me. Says we should go with the sausage and leek 2 hour leaked. Oh, I like that. Sausage and leek 2 hour. Very good. Well done. I'm loving this tonight. Talk about food. I filmed a rag pudding on a muffin with mushy peas and called it the OLDHAM Kebab. That's something for you, mate.
Oh, Jesus. Where are you? Tell me where you are. I'll come and review that.
He will as well, mate. He ain't just saying that in jest. He will be there. He'll be there tomorrow lunchtime.
Yeah, I just about to say, yeah.
Right, so we know Lee's going Oldham sometime in the next few weeks to watch a game and try the Oldham. Oh, that sounds bad. Oh, we've already done Oldham away this year, so that means I'm going to miss out on it.
I'll send you a picture, don't worry.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, that'll taste the same. We've got Spenny fan Chris says the Barnet manager's on a 9-match touch. Oh, yeah, I see this. Dean Brennan, 9 games for something he said to an official back in August. There's a lot of bans being handed out for stuff that happened about 5 months ago, weren't there?
9 ban? What did he say to him?
I'm not sure what he said, but yeah, obviously it can't have been great to get 9 games, can it? Which potentially has an impact on Barnet's playoff push.
Yeah.
Because that's 9 games. That means they're going to have played 40. He's only going to be back for the final 6. That could have a bit of an impact. I mean, Barnet fans will be able to tell us more how much of an impact he has from the touchline, because different managers, different characters and that type of thing. But yeah, that's a fair chunk of games with only 15 left to play.
It certainly is, yeah. You don't know what type of manager. He might not be a touchline manager. Interesting. I'm watching, because obviously I did the Mansfield, I'm watching Cloughie. Rarely comes out always to do the odd order, and he just sits back and lets his assistant do the most of it. Like, and some are hands-on where they can't leave the touchline and pacing up and down, and some are more relaxed. So yeah, whether he's
I think if you've got someone, they've got good coaching staff and they trust them, then they'll be absolutely fine. But if you're one that wants to, like you say, be a bit more involved, then could be a problem for Barnet. But we shall see. We'll have to remember after game 40 what's happened to Barnet. Right, Notts County went to Bromley on Saturday as well. That was probably the game of the weekend beforehand, and it finished 1 each. Matthew Dennis's own goal put Bromley in front before Jody Jones levelled up from the spot on 52 minutes. was a late red card for Scott Robertson for the Pies, but it didn't affect the result. I've written down a good point for both, mate. County away from home to top of the league, that's a decent point, keeps them right in the mix. And Bromley maintain their 4-point lead at the top of the table.
Yeah, I think it's a better point for County because obviously going down to 10 and going to Bromley, it's a tough gaff to go, regardless of the position they're in.
Still unbeaten at home, I think, Bromley, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I think Notts County on a decent run now as well, unbeaten in X amount.
Yeah, I think they are. We'll have a look.
But yeah, going down to 10 men, you probably only think it's going to, I think it was 60 odd minute as well, so it's a good old.
No, 83rd. That's what I said.
Oh,
so
really?
they didn't have long to hang on, so I don't think it had too much of an impact. But yeah, still a good point away from home against the team that's not lost on their own patch. And yeah, like you say, Notts County on a great run. Lost to Accrington on New Year's Day. Since then, 6 wins on the bounce before that draw. So yeah, really good run. 19 points from 21 on offer. And that's what I mean. That's the run you need to put together at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at any team like, you say, not to just do my team, but if you say Colchester win 5 of their next 6, they're going to be right in it again, aren't they? That's the thing. But it's whether them teams that are in the middle of the pack are good enough to put that type of run together when they're slightly in and out at the moment.
Fair play to Patterson, though, because they've come under quite a lot of criticism at the start of the season because obviously it was quite a slow start. Obviously, the structure that they've got at the club to be where they are now was every credit to him. And he's proved a lot of people wrong that obviously criticise the system. And it wasn't just League Two fans, it were Notts County fans as well. You read online, obviously I know a couple of Notts fans and Notts County fans, and they were critical of the structure of the club, and yeah, they'll be absolutely buzzing because it's worked out a treat, really.
Yeah, fair play to them. Not say I was one that had them to struggle, so I'm going to be eating, talking of pie, probably a big old humble one.
How are you with your predictions? Are you far off out? Or
Notts County, I'm miles out. I said 18th.
No, I mean in general, the League Two.
Yeah, not great. Not going to lie. I think I had Bromley 8th, Cambridge 10th. I think I had Swindon 4th. That's probably the closest at the moment. I had Notts County to struggle, MK Dons to win the league, so they could still, but it's going to be tough. I had Salford just outside, Crewe mid-table. I think I had Barnet 14th. That's not too far off.
When you do your predictions, you always feel like quite confident, like cementing.
Oh, absolutely. It's like having a bet, isn't it? You look at them and you go, like, none of them are outrageous. It's not like you're betting on, Gills to go to Bayern Munich and win 1-0. You think, oh, they've got a right chance. And then you get to about half time and you deleted the betting app and you chuck your phone out the window and you just think, what's the point?
Yeah, and you're always like...
I did have Newport to finish bottom of the league. That is saving me at the moment. But I did have Accrington in 23rd, so that's ruined it. So, right, let's move on anyway before everyone stops listening to what I say completely. They always come back and haunt us, do ex-players, said Simon. Yeah, I think we've all been there, haven't we? We've all got that player that never done anything for our team and then they pitch up with someone else and score an absolute belter or the winner or anything like that. Spenny fan Chris says Barrow have done a Watford sacking their manager after so many games. Yeah, we've just spoke about that, mate. Yeah, weird decision. All right, they won at the weekend, so it might prove to be the correct call, but we both said that lifespan of a manager these days is absolutely ridiculous. Cotton Pie 77. Oh, 777. This is one for you, Lee, because you've been to a few of their games. Hope Scunny get promoted to League Two. Yeah, I mean, another traditionally a football league club. It'd be great to see them back in the EFL, wouldn't it?
It would. Although speaking to a Scunny fan, the run that they're on in terms of teams that they've played, been difficult. Obviously, I think 6-3 they got beat on Saturday to Boston. I mean, they've got Rochdale to play this week as well. Then York coming up, so it's tough. And he's heard rumblings that there's a bit of money issues, which is why the form has tailed off. Whether it's going to be true, I don't know.
Right, fifth at the moment in the National League, aren't they? Yeah, so it looks like playoffs. It's whether they
which is incredible because obviously promoted last season. So to be where they are now, I think Scunny fans would have snapped their hands off. They were never going to.
Absolutely. And for all the issues they've had as well, it's this phenomenal story to
Yeah.
get back to even this point where you're talking about promotion back to the Football League. I mean, the top three look like they've got already, don't they? You still back in York to win the league? We had this chat a couple of weeks ago. Rochdale 2 games in hand, level on points.
I am, especially after this weekend, because I think that York obviously won well at Wealdstone, and then Rochdale dropped
pegged back, I think, Drew.
points. Yeah, which is what York need, because obviously they've still got them bumper 2 games in hand, which is one of them tomorrow against Scunny. So if they drop more points there, I'm just
Rochdale got Scunthorpe tomorrow, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just hoping and praying it does go to that last day of season, because that'll just be.
They play each other final day.
Yeah, at Rochdale.
Well, we know where Leah be final day.
Yeah, chippy outside.
Chip shop, and then the away ends. That'll be banging.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
Rochdale
have to try
got Woking the weekend.
York lads.
Who have they got the week? York home to Halifax. So that's a bit of a derby as well, isn't it?
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
Ish. I say you're up that way. I've not got a clue. We don't have derbies, Gills. We just make them up. Anyway, next up on the National League Hour. 3, Bristol Rovers 1 was another game in League 2 as the Neil Harris bandwagon continued to roll on. There was no sign of a manager or player of the month curse in this one, mate, because Ben Knight and Neil Harris got both of them awards last week. Ben Knight scored twice. A goal added to by Kellen Watts, and 3-1 to the home side. Joe Quigley penalty just before half time got the Gas back on level terms, but it was the U's who ran out comfortable winners. Gas, I've just put, still concede too many goals. We've still not really seen this improvement that we thought we'd see under Steve Evans, have we?
No, it's not really kicked in, because I thought he'd have a real effect and they'd kick on. Not in terms of doing anything in terms of top half of the season. When I say kick on, I mean push the Sens right out of danger. And I see
it's still only 5 points. Still only 5 points to the drop zone. They're still right in trouble, aren't they? I mean, I don't think they will go down, but like you say, I thought they'd have won a few more and would sort of be around about 16th, 17th by now, but it's not really happened.
No, it's not had that effect, which sort of says that the player's not up to it. I know he signed a boatload in January, but yeah, I thought he'd have more of an effect on them. But I think they'll be fine, because I think the 2 at the bottom for me, I think are the ones. I think the gap sort of appearing now. But Cambridge back to winning ways. Obviously won in the week. Disappointing result last weekend at Harrogate, and obviously it's always about how you answer back after defeat, after that run that they've had. Incredible run as well. If we're always going to be, I think Harrogate have got a habit of ending runs, didn't they end yours?
Yes, mate. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, mate. But yeah, it's
always they do have the best buys.
Yes,
which we all talk. We know that because we talk about it every week.
Yeah, we do.
Harrogate, 4 points from safety, but 4 points from their last 2 games against 2 sides that you wouldn't have expected them to get anything. So is there sign of a pulse? Because they went to Chesterfield and drew 1-1 this weekend. I know there was a red card for Lee Bonnis. He got sent off on the hour after putting the spy rights in front. But Tobias Brennan's equaliser on 84 minutes means that there are just signs of life with Harrogate all of a sudden. Mind you, we said this about Newport, and they've lost every game since. We mentioned that a few weeks ago. So, sorry, Harrogate fans.
Yes, you just put kids in there fun. But yeah.
Both going down.
To beat Cambridge, because everyone had that as the bankers. Cambridge were going to win easily and get another 3 points, carry the run on. But yeah, Harrogate played really well and deserved the victory that day. Obviously, Chesterfield, Rue, obviously, I think going down to 10's cost them. Silly decision. He just stood there waiting to go back on. Why do you feel the need to get involved in the play and kick it? Well, he's not. He's just rolled it away, but it's just daft. And you've
Again, you're on a
effectively,
booking and then you just draw attention to yourself. It's stupid, isn't it? It's just stupidity
yeah,
at the highest order.
yeah. I don't know how Cookie's not giving him a slap back at head, to be honest, because he's right in front of Cookie as well. He stood at the side of him, and it was just daft. Especially when you're just waiting to come on. I could understand it a little bit more when you're on the pitch and you're trying to slow it down because they're trying to get play back in. But when you stood waiting to come back on because you've just come off from an injury, daft.
You're literally surrounded by officials, aren't you? You've got the fourth official behind you. You've got the linesman about 6 foot from you, and the referee's watching as well. Yeah.
Silly.
So at least he can't score on Tuesday night against the Gills. So yeah, get your money on Will Grigg to net a couple. He loves a goal against us and all. But yeah, no win since Boxing Day at home for the Spyrites. We spoke at the beginning of the season about their away form causing them an issue. They've picked that up, and the home form's just dropped off slightly. Is that the reason they keep flirting with the playoffs but not establishing themselves in there?
Yeah, and they've surprised me, Chesterfield, because they would have been my tip to win it this year. I thought they'd kick on from last season. Obviously, I think we were playoffs last season, losing to Walsall, was it?
Yes, they did, in the semi-final.
Yeah. I thought they'd kick on and go win it this year, but it's that inconsistency, like you said, to have dreadful away form, away you need to be picking up results in terms of, you get your draws, but then it's like roles reverse now and home form's letting them down massively. And
there's only 1 point difference between their away total and their home total. They've got 24 points on the road, lost 4 games. At home, they've only lost twice, but they've drawn more than they've won. So again, it's one of them teams. It goes either way now, doesn't it? You sort that out, you get into playoffs.
Yeah.
If you then the home form then continues to drop off, you end up finishing mid-table. So another team that would be intriguing to keep an eye on as the final straight comes into view. Right, we better do a few more comments. We have got, is that Bongle83? Evening, gents. Gills fan Bongle. Another no context username. Let Lee know, please, mate. Lucas says MK Dons winning 1-0 against Newport. Found it really hard to score. They had one right at the chance at the end, blazed over. Newport with 5 points off drop. Are they going down? Yeah, we've already discussed them. I think they're banging trouble. Here we go. We've got a Barnet fan in, so fingers crossed. Evening, Jim. Just wanted to say what a good job Gavin Cowan is doing at Shrewsbury. Yeah, he is. They've picked up. We'll get to their game. Bored the house down 4 games ago against us, but 1 loss and 2 wins later, and he's looking inspired upon. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Big win for them at the weekend. We'll talk about their game now, Lee.
Yeah.
As Jim's brought it up, massive 3-1 win against Swindon, who are Swindon, another weird team at the moment. They seem to be going win, lose. In fact, they've not drawn a game since the 22nd of November, Ian Holloway's men.
Wow.
But Salop, like Jim's just said, 7 points from 9 since Gavin Cowan came in. Home form might just keep them up. 23 of their 29 points have come on their own patch.
Yeah, it's a massive win. That for me, it's the win of the weekend. It was one of them where you thought, obviously, no manager bounce, but you still fancy Swindon going into it. But to beat them 3-1, and like the guys have said, Shrewsbury were boring. The house down, they were struggling to score, and really looking bang up against it in terms of relegation threat. Probably a sacking that's probably come. Would you agree? It were due.
I think so. We said a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
They was probably the only one down there that had not rolled the dice. If you look at the other teams, Newport have rolled the dice, haven't they? Barrow just recently rolled the dice. Crawley and Harrogate, you're probably the only 2 down there apart from Shrewsbury who hadn't. Cheltenham got themselves out of trouble. Bristol Rovers have probably got enough to stay away from the danger zone. Jim, question for you though, mate. We just discussed Barnet. I'm not sure if you was watching when we discussed them. How do you see the run-in for you boys? Home form as you probably mid-table, but I think your away form's got you right on the playoffs at the moment. So can you get in the top 7? I know I got a little bit of grief off your fans at the start of the season because I had you down in 14th. But can you get in the playoffs? Will you get in the playoffs? Let us know. Krista Butcher says, I was surprised to see Sam Vokes at Gills. What a player. Yeah, good player. Just probably haven't seen enough of him in terms of goals, Chris. But he was very good Saturday. I was surprised he came off. And yeah, if he can nick if he can nick 3 or 4, 5 between now and the end of the season, we might have half a chance still. But it is going to be a big ask from where we are. Chesterfield, we're done. Crew Alexander 1, Gillingham 0. Alex move into the playoffs after Adrian Thibault's first goal of the season. A lovely stat for Gills fans again. Same issues for those Gills. Like at Notts County in our last away game, created plenty, missed plenty, conceded a soft goal. Still lack consistency. That's why Gills are still 14th in the table. And now some 9 points off the playoffs, albeit with 2 games in hand over Crew. But I think we're at that stage of the season, mate, where you'd rather have points on the board, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Do you feel, you feel tomorrow's make or break if you're going to have any chance?
I think if we get beat, it's done, completely done. It's probably done already, in truth. Like I did a TikTok last week saying we've still, all the while you've got to, it's still on, you've got to believe. What's the point otherwise? Yeah. But we can't keep missing good chances. We can't keep conceding soft goals. Ronan Howe gives me that little bit of hope because he's probably had 8 good chances since he's come in and he scored twice. So if you're scoring 25% of your chances over 4 games, he's going to get probably another half a dozen between now and the end of the season. But you can't just rely on one person all the time. So if you was asking me now, yes or no, are we getting in the playoffs? No.
In terms of just the Gills in general, or do you think it's just because there's a little bit of traffic in front of you as well?
We're not good enough at the moment. Like I said, before Christmas, we're drawing too many. Now we're winning 1, losing 2, winning 1, losing 1. So ask me tomorrow if we beat Chesterfield, then we're definitely getting in the playoffs because that's just the horrible nature of footballing, isn't it? I said to you before we pressed to go live, it's horrible because you have a bad result and you go, no, it's definitely it. And then you go and pick up a decent result. And all fans have probably been like this. And then you go, oh, and there's just a chance again. We'll start believing. It's the hope that kills you all the time. And that is essentially, that should be the Gills motto at the moment. It's the hope that kills you. Because it's so frustrating. We've got good players. We play some decent stuff. We create loads of good chances. I've said already on my show, looking back at the Crew game, all right, the keeper's made 2 worldies. Mickey Dimitriou's made 2 really good goal line blocks. But when you've seen it for 4 or 5 seasons, you have to ask the question, when does bad luck become ineptitude? And that's where I'm at with it at the moment. So,
yeah, that's fair because you could just say, yeah, we'll still, at least you're honest about it. Some fans are a little bit deluded in terms of they still have that hope. I think that's what is good about you. You're honest. You're straight down the middle, and you'll call it for what it is.
Oh yeah, I've still got hope. There's still we've still got 16 games to play. There's 48 points to play for. 70 points could be enough. So I'll still believe until it's impossible or very close to impossible. But you have to be realistic as well, like you say. And we've not lost loads of games, so that gives me hope. But we've not won enough games either. That's why we're 14th, middle of the road. But it's still progress from last season. But the summer will be huge if we don't get in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Right, what else did we have? We had MK Dons 1, Newport County 0. Aaron Collins' first minute goal after a goalkeeping error in this one gave the points to Paul Warren's men, who have taken 17 points from 21 on offer since defeat on New Year's Day. At the other end of the spectrum, since we bigged them up after beating Chesterfield and backed them to beat Accrington, the Amber Army have taken 1 point from 5 games. And I've just written bleak. They're banging trouble, aren't they, Newport?
Again. Yeah, you thought, obviously, after them couple of good results, you're thinking they're showing fight, but yeah, it seems to have hit a little bit of a wall. And it's that I said for the 2 at the bottom, there's sort of that gap appearing.
The only hope that you have from Newport is they've got game in hand. So if they won that, they'd go within 2 points of Crawley, who are just above the line. But when you've won 5 games out of 31, it's difficult to see you winning another 4 or 5 games between now and the end of the season. That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, 100%. We all want points on the board. Games and hand are all good and well. It's about having the points, especially I think more so when you're down at the bottom. Every point is vital. Yeah, I feel the worst for them. As Harrogate, I think them 2 are, for me, are down.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's like we said, it's difficult. They've won 10 games between them all season from 63 football matches, so there's a reason why they're down there. You'd be stupid to bet against them both getting out of trouble, wouldn't you? At the end of the day, Oldham Athletic 1, Fleetwood Town 1. Was a game that occurred at Boundary Park. Mark Helm's decent free kick in first half injury time put the Cod Army in front, but Jack Stevens' smart finish after 78 minutes rescued a point for Mickey Mellon's team. Yeah, good point for both sides. We've both been really poor of late, haven't they, mate? So that just stops the rot to a degree for both of them.
Yeah, I think out of the two, I think if you were to say who's had the most disappointing season, it would be Fleetwood. Quite a few talked about them being in around that playoff places, whereas Oldham obviously come up. And I think for a first season in League Two, as we've spoke quite a lot of times, I think it's a good, steady season. You build on it next season. So definitely out of the two, I think Fleetwood have been more disappointed in what this season's become.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final game in League Two this weekend was Tranmere Rovers against Crawley Town, and it finished 2-0 to the way of Andy Crosby's men. Zek Alberio and Joe Ironside scored in the first half to give a first win in 7 for Rovers to ease the pressure on their manager. Crawley, after going 3 unbeaten, have now lost 3 in a row. That sums up Crawley perfectly for me. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they look like they could beat anyone in the division, and then other weeks they look like a Sunday League side.
Yeah, it's weird. Obviously, he's back for a second spell, and yeah, the chalk and cheese with what you're going to get. You never know what Crawley team are going to turn up. Obviously, I don't think they're going to worry about going down or anything like that.
Well, 22nd there.
Yeah, but like we've just said, I think the two at the bottom, I don't think will have enough to chase. So I think that's what
that's a fair point.
Them down there can sort of not rely on, because they still have to get the results. Obviously, football's a funny old game. The two, we might be sat here come May with egg on his faces, and both teams have stayed up. But yeah, I just can't see it. In terms of Tranmere, are an interesting one. I feel with. Do you feel with them that they're circling the drain?
I think they have been for ages, haven't they? I think there's a lot of issues with Mark Palios, the owner. There's no money. I think Andy Crosby's probably been kept on because they can't afford to get anyone else. Yeah. I said at the start of the season, I thought their squad was solid based on what we'd seen at the back end of last year when Crosby came in to replace Adkins. And I thought that Joe Ironside was a really good signing, but it's just not worked out for him. I know he scored at the weekend, but it's a penalty. I think there's a lot of unrest amongst the fan base as well, isn't there? And they've had that takeover collapse as well. So unfortunately, they won't get to see Rihanna at Prenton Park anytime soon.
Was that on about?
I think it was something to do with her and some other rapper. I can't tell you his name. I'm far too old. But yeah, there was someone who was like an American rapper and I don't know, R&B artist or something. So I mean, it'd have been great fun, wouldn't it? I'd have been selling umbrellas with a Tranmere badge outside the ground.
Brilliant. That's first I've heard about that. I know there were talks of a takeover, but I didn't know it was Rihanna.
I can't think of his name. It's no, it's gone. I'll have to Google it and have a look and send it to you later. But yeah, they're probably just in that bracket from sort of, dare I say it, Gillingham downwards at the moment. Gillingham, Fleetwood, Oldham, Tranmere, Cheltenham, and you'd probably add Shrewsbury to that now, that are just a sort of nothing team going absolutely nowhere at the moment. Yeah, which is probably not a bad thing for Shrewsbury, having been banging trouble all season. But for teams like Gillingham and Fleetwood, who we thought were going to, challenge the top 7, it's just another season where you're thinking, right, when do we start planning for the next one?
Yeah, 100%. Like we just said with Tranmere, it's a case of there's always so long that you can circle that drain. Eventually, you're gonna fall.
The plug comes out and you just fall in. Yeah, exactly.
I think with Tranmere as well, I think they were more hopeful this season than any going into the League Two season. It's just not worked out. You look at Smallwood, that signing. I feel on paper it looked a decent.
Now he's gone to
Yeah,
He was one of
but
about 700 that Steve Evans signed in January.
yeah, well, yeah, but that just didn't work out, which shocked me because I thought it were a good, steady signing. Obviously, a promotion on his CV last season. We're always a big advocate for the structure has to be right at a football club. Doesn't matter what is happening on the field. I think if behind the scenes it's not working and it's like a big wheel, everything's got to be falling right and moving in the direction to move a club forward. I think off the pitch is probably more vital than anything if you're going to succeed.
Absolutely, because it filters down, doesn't it? If it's the top level's not being worked out properly, then that filters down to senior management director level, then it becomes coaching staff. And if there's lack of finance and a apathy towards everything, you just end up going around in circles because you feel like you've got one foot nailed to the floor all the time. And yeah, I've been there with Gills. I still probably am there with Gills to a degree. It's just frustrating that it comes back to my point about it's the hope that kills you all the time, isn't it? Because these teams that I've mentioned, Gills, Fleetwood, Oldham, Tranmere, Accrington, Colchester, maybe as well. You get to August next season, if we're all in this division, and we'll be like, yeah, come on, this could be our year. That's why we keep coming back.
It's balmy,
and the Pies, obviously.
it is balmy. Obviously, every football fan, that first 8 season, you think this could be it, and then you get beaten. You're like, oh, great.
Exactly. And it's the only time in the season everyone's got the same amount of points and the same amount of hope. And yeah, like you say. And then the plug comes out and you look like me. Anyway.
Do you think structurally with Gills it's right behind the scenes?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no way you can say anything other than that. I'm not being funny. If Brad and Shannon were not interested, they wouldn't have backed us with Cameron Antwi, Ronan Howell, and Omar Beckles in the January transfer window as much as it's a long shot. So I think I think that all three of them will be good players next season. But yeah, I think the summer's huge for us. I can't reiterate that enough. I think we've got 16 at our contract. I was working it out. I'm not going to name players because obviously they're still going to play for us for the rest of the season. But I could see probably double figures not being renewed.
Probably, really.
Which what I said though, mate. Then it's Gareth's team, then, isn't it? He's got no excuse. It can't be, oh well, I've worked with other people's players. I've got other people's tools. This is all on him. It's his recruitment with the help of the recruitment team. If he has the final say, like he tells us, then he has to live and die by them decisions next season. At the moment, we can still say, well, it's Stephen Clements's, Neil Harris's, Mark Bonner's players.
Yeah.
Shall we? Right, let's do a few more comments. There seems to be more head coaches than traditional old school managers around. Arguably, head coaches have less autonomy and are easier to sack as a sop to restless fans. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, we always sort of sit here and talk about what's the difference. Essentially, they're all trying to do the same thing, which is get ready to win a football match on a Saturday or a Tuesday. But yeah, I'm not sure why we have all these different titles. Again, is it just because it's fashionable, because that's what the Premier League and all the big European teams do?
Yeah, I also think owners get involved a little bit too much what they should in this day and age in terms of football. Whether it happens in League Two, I don't know. But I look at some, Nottingham Forest, for instance. I mean, he's way too involved coming on the pitch and stuff like that. It's just like managers. If he's not doing his job, then have a word, but don't get involved. Let him, give him as much tools as you can, and let him crack on.
Yeah, because that's it. Because back to Forest again. I know we're not Premier League show, but what's the parameters now for Nottingham Forest? You've got to appoint someone who they have, like I said, who got relegated with Wolves last season, was absolutely horrific stats wise, win percentage and all that. So what's the parameters for Vitor Pereira now? Because he's got to come in, and to be better than Sean Dyche, he's got to have a win percentage higher than 41, which isn't going to happen. So do they get to the end of the season and go, oh, we'll sack him again?
Yeah, it's a balmy. I think it's a balmy. Like you said, we're not a Premier League show, but it's a balmy appointment where you just got rid of Sean Dyche. You're appointing a manager that Wolves have sacked because Wolves are in a worse position than you and looking, well, they're guaranteed to go down. So you're like, why?
Exactly, yeah. And going down with a record low points tally as well, potentially as well. It's not like they're going down with a fight either, is it? They've just rolled over.
No.
Anyway, back to the best division in the world. Manager window should be the same as the transfer window, Jim Kavanagh says. That's a point I made, yet I think that could be something that could be looked at. Like I said, if it's for disciplinary issues or something behind the scenes that's gone really wrong, like, they've, I don't know. But yeah, I think if it's just for results, I think there should be, they can sack them. Maybe not exactly the same as the transfer window, because obviously one would be at the start of the season, but there could be like, I don't know, 2 weeks in November, say the last 2 weeks in November. So then you can sack a manager and give him a month before the January transfer window comes in to assess, or 2 weeks end of February.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Do you know, with the talk of the playoffs restructure, is that just Championship or is that all leagues?
I hope it just gets chucked out. It's an absolutely horrendous idea. When will it stop?
Shocking.
If you're not in the bottom four, we'll just play an FA Cup in that division to get promoted. It's bent. Oh, it drives me up the wall. Same as VAR. Like, we survived without it for forever. Just stop ruining the game.
I don't know how you can be thinking that rewarding an 8th place team is
exactly, because then what? In 6, 7, 8 years they go, oh, we'll do it down to 10th. All they need to do to change the playoffs is make the National League exactly the same as the EFL and just crack on.
Yeah.
So top 2 or top 3 go up, and then the 4 teams below that play playoffs. 2 legs, then Wembley. Bosh.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's all this eliminators and no, why? I don't get it. It's just for money, isn't it? It's just for TV and for money. Which
that's all it's for. And that's what I think the kick in the teeth for the National League clubs. They're more bothered about putting 6 teams in the playoff. Load of crap, absolute load of crap. When I heard it, I was like, please don't. I didn't know if it, because I didn't really look into it because of the week I've had in terms of work. So I didn't know if it were just Championship. Absolute balmy decision. I get that obviously the playoffs weren't there a thing years ago, but I think it were a good thing that they brought in. I think the playoff as it is a brilliant product. I enjoy it. I think them games, they come thick and fast. You've got League 2, League 1 and Championship. You've got games to look for, and then trips to Wembley.
They're always about there's too many fixtures, so then you're going to put in another 2 fixtures for a quarter final. It's mental. So when does the season end? You look at Oldham last year; their playoff final was June the 1st.
I know,
Teams going into the middle of June, and then they'll be back in training 3 weeks afterwards. They'll all be burnt out. I think to add more money, it'll add more excitement to the end of the season, but you're almost diluting the quality next season, because the team that goes through the quarters, the semi, and the final, or any of them, because they're all going to be in one division or the other, they're going to be absolutely exhausted and not have a proper break.
Yeah, and if they do it how they do it in the National League, you look at York last season. I know Oldham beat them, but that break. So if they're waiting for them 2 teams to play,
they didn't play for like 3 weeks, did they?
Yes, so you're not getting that advantage. Team that's
almost
played,
like you're that team that's missing and not playing an eliminate. You've got to go and arrange a friendly to keep people ticking over.
Yeah, and she'd be better off finishing bloody 8th rather than 3rd, because you don't want to be waiting for a fixture.
Because you're playing regular games right up until to Wembley if you go all the way. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The playoffs have been brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, we all say we hate it if it's our team. I get that. But you can't beat the drama of the playoffs.
No.
But it's been fine for the best part of 35 years now. We do not need to change it.
No. And they're always changing it for money. That's the only thing they're doing it for, not for the good of the game, because the product
We need to have a rant, because the last time we had a rant about ITV not doing a League 2 highlights on an international weekend, we went viral on X and it got changed.
There you go. Get it posted, mate.
Get it posted. We'll do a clip tomorrow. We'll get it everywhere. Anyway, God, there's going to be a lot of injury time tonight. We've really got stuck into some bits here. I think we need to forget about the playoffs this season, says Mike Edwards. Players should be busting it up to try and earn a contract, whether it be with Gills or someone else. Yeah, I think we're very close to that point now, mate, where we're just going to have to forget it. I think, like I've said, if we lose tomorrow, it's completely done and dusted. Jim, no, who we got? We've got Mitchell's asking me what out of contract players would you keep? I won't discuss that publicly, mate, because we've got to back these players and support them for the rest of the season. So I'm not going to name names. Jim's just got a bit of backstory regarding Dean Brennan. He had a dig at the appalling Kirsty Dowie He denied the accusation was sexist, but still found guilty anyway. He has since been sent off, so we'll get another ban on top of the 9. See you in August then, Dean.
I can only imagine what he said.
Yeah, we'll just leave it that. You can make your own assumptions. Don't post it publicly. And he also says it will have a big impact, he thinks. What else have we got? Chris the Butcher says if Lee wants to review the Oldham Kebab, he will have to come to my house. He'll DM you as soon as this show's finished, mate. I guarantee that as well. I'm not even joking. Chris the Butcher says the National League is Rochdale's to lose. I tend to agree. I know Lee's big on York, but I think Rochdale, it is theirs to lose. You think if they take 4 points from their 2 games in hand, it's going to be tough to get reeled in. But, as Lee says, it would make one hell of a final day if it's winner takes all. That would be absolutely phenomenal.
On that, though, you look at York's goal difference is far superior. So if
I don't like looking at teams that score lots of goals because it makes me jealous.
So that for me is points. So if they only need to drop the points, and obviously there's a lot of games still to play. I mean, Rochdale to play Scunny tomorrow's massive. That's no gimme because Scunny they turned York over early on in the season.
Yeah, it's crazy league. That's why it's so good again. And I think it's more even this year, isn't it? Because we've lost the Wrexhams, Notts County, Chesterfields, which were great for that league. But I think you was always playing for sort of third downwards when them teams were in that division. Jim says he had Bristol Rovers to finish third, so he can't. So did I, mate. So we can revel in our successful predictions of that one together. SBR 19 Gills fan says, evening, gents. Matt, what was your opinion on Ronan Howe's performance at Crewe? Not in the game. Loads. Had his chances. Would still like to see him played as a traditional centre forward. Whether that means we go to a back 3 to get 2 centre forwards together, I'm not sure. But what I like is he's not in the game loads, but he's such a good player that he's still getting chances. And I think the best strikers are like that. You might not see them for 80 minutes, but they'll pop up with a goal. But yeah, early days, obviously, he's only played 4 times for us. Right, mate, are we going to do... we've still got goals of the week and player of the weekend to do yet, and the table.
Yeah,
want to run through your top 3? Yeah,
we'll bash through these, mate. So my third was Lloyd, Shrewsbury's second, well worked, down the wing and a great ball across, training ground. Yeah, great goal. Second was Bonis. I think that this goal was all about that Mandeville pass, absolute gem. And yeah, tucked it away past the keeper, but that pass was just, on a play, just nice, floated in. And Elm wins it for me. Fleetwood's free kick against Oldham.
Got one the same. Mark Helm, I had top.
I think it was difficult this week.
There were loads of decent goals.
Do you think it was difficult?
There weren't anything spectacular, was it? No, there was plenty of good goals, but not anything specifically outstanding. Third, I had Zeko Birio for Tranmere. I thought that was a really good individual goal. He was bright against Gills when he came on a couple of weeks ago. Sort of got the ball inside left channel, looked like he was going to go inside, jinked onto his left and then just smacked it past the keeper at the near post. Really good goal for him. Second, I had Ben Knight for Cambridge. Sweeping finish into the roof of the net to get his side back in front at the start of the second half. But yeah, I think Mark Helms was the best of the bunch this weekend. Really good free kick. But there was, like you say, there were some decent goals, some good team goals as well, which I think always go a little bit under the radar. So it's good to see that you picked a couple of them out. Do you want to give us your player of the weekend?
Yeah, Luca Hull for Shrewsbury. In their 3-1 win over Swindon Town. It provided an assist for a delivered free kick, 3 shots, 1 key pass, 5 aerial duels, 1, 2 dribbles, and 2 fouls, 1, 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, 13 clearances, and a crucial last man tackle. I've got that stats off Sky Bet League 2 page.
Love that. Yeah, I think he was one that I picked out as a potential key player for his team this season at the start of the year. So good to see him doing well. I think he's really decent right back or right wing. I think he's even played as like an outside centre half this season. I mean, Shrewsbury fans will be able to tell me more. But yeah, good pick. And like you say, he played a big part in a huge win for his team. Mine was, unfortunately, somebody that prevented my team from taking anything from the game. And that was Crew Alexandra's warrior, Mickey Demetriou. Like, ridiculous performance, mate. I spoke to the Crew fan, Tyler, who's in our WhatsApp group for the preview, and they said that he might not play. He's been carrying a knee injury. He's sort of missing the odd game to rest. He came out, like, he's got massive strapping all over his leg. He was limping through most of the game, but he was absolutely outstanding. 2 goal line clearances prevented us from scoring. I think there was one from Gareth McCleary, beat the keeper. He got back on the line. There was another one just before that. Max Clark crossed to the back post. I think Hale and Vokes were just waiting to tap it in. He gets back, clears it. He then has the audacity to go at the other end and set up the winner. Yeah, he played 90 minutes, 54 touches, 3 block shots, 20 clearances. I don't think I've ever seen a performance where someone has 20 clearances individually. 2 off the line, like I say, 8 aerial duels, and yeah, 1 assist. Hate him. Absolutely. No, I don't. He's a phenomenal footballer. Really, really good. Crew fans absolutely love him. Newport fans absolutely love him. So yeah, that was my player of the weekend, Mickey Demetriou, even though he ruined my weekend. We have a look at the league table. Oh, let's do some more comments quickly. We got, we done that one. We done that one. The Chickens podcasting. I think that's another Bradford one, even to them. We like it. We're getting more League One people coming to see. I don't think it's because they're worried about being in this division next season, to be fair. Julian Gill says Gillingham have to be the most frustrating team to watch. Certainly up there, mate. I think if there was a league table for frustrating side, we'd be in the playoffs at worst. What else have we got? Jim says apologies, he's watching slightly delayed, but I think Barnet will make the playoffs. We're underperforming to underlying numbers, but will improve with Shamanga's. He's been a really good signing, to be fair, hasn't he? You looked at his Crawley numbers and you'd think, that's a weird one. They let him go to Notts County. I think he's got like 4 in 6 or 5 in 7 since arriving. So yeah, really, really good arrival. Still got Britta Sombalonga, who's unlucky not to score a winner in that game. They've got a good side. They've got good players as well and potential game changers. So yeah, certainly intrigued to keep an eye on Barnet between now and the end of the season. David is in the chat. He says, good morning from Canada. Evening, Hutch. Hope you're well. Simon says, I'm back. Apologies. Had to go and watch a horse. I have a micro share in a race in Wolverhampton. She finished 5th. Fair play. I don't think you get paid on 5th unless there's about 40 runners. But I'd like my football team to be 5th. That'd be lovely.
This might be at Wolverhampton.
I don't mind a bit of horse racing, but I can't be doing that all-weather nonsense. Does my head in. Is this directed at you? Are you going to Oldham tomorrow? I don't know. That could just be a general question. I'm certainly not going to Oldham tomorrow. I'm going to Chesterfield. So we'll just miss about 16 one-on-ones and lose 1-0.
Yeah. No, not going to Oldham tomorrow.
Hutch says, I like Jim's suggestion of having a man. That was my suggestion, David. That's a great idea. Yes, I'm all for it. I think I'm persuading Lee it's a good idea as well. I only support if we can sign 2 or 3. Yeah, something to think about. I'm sure the EFL are watching. Mike, the Gills fan, says, not sure what all the panic was about Saturday's weather at Crewe. It was a beautiful day, worried about the rain and they had sprinklers on it. Oh, yeah. Kept looking at the weather app before the game last week and it said sunshine all week. And I got to Friday and it said cloudy, 60% chance of snow. And I was thinking, you've got to be kidding me. To be fair, given the result, snowing and an abandonment might not have been a bad thing after all. Jim said Finley Munro on the bench for Middlesbrough tonight. Yeah, this is a lad who did really well for Swindon first half of the campaign. So good to see him progressing. Jim's talking about the playoffs that we've also discussed. I like the playoffs on the basis that the National League playoffs are phenomenal and this is where they're copying it from. It's not about more money because there aren't more games because it's one leg. Oh, it'd be one leg. I didn't know that. But I'm still not entirely on board with it, Lee. I don't know about you.
I'm not on board. Not to reward 7th and 8th. I'm sorry. I'm just, regardless of the National League playoff, I think for me needs to be changed anyway for the how many teams go up. So that needs to be structured in terms of.
Yeah, I think there's got to be at least 2 go up automatically. Because like York last year got 95 points, and then Oldham go up who got 74. Like, no disrespect to Oldham, fair play. The rules are there and they done well, but it seems mental that you can finish with like 30% less points than a team and still get promoted instead of them.
Well, yeah, if two up automatically, them two are in cruise control because you look at the gap between them two and Carlisle.
Yeah, it's 9 points.
They're more or less up.
Yeah.
So you've literally got to be perfect to get that automatic position, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think like you see when you say 2 and the division that you go into sees 3 go up automatically. It's nuts.
Yeah, balmy.
Simon
and
says
I've never understood the League Two, the League Two and League One structures.
Yeah, I don't know why it's just not the same all the time. Why it should be? It's either got to be 4 down, 2 up, 1 through the playoffs, or 3 down, 3 up, 1 through the playoffs. It has to just be consistent. I don't understand why, but someone might know more than I do. Simon's confident Gills will get 3 points on Saturday against Oldham. I hope you're right, mate. I really do, but I've got to worry about Tuesday night first. Right, we'll have a quick look at the league table before we blow full time on this one. So yes, as we've already discussed, it is still Crewe. No, it isn't. They beat us. It is still Newport and Accrington. Nope. I'm doing well here. Still Newport and Harrogate that occupy the 2 bottom places. And then, sorry about this, my laptop is on a go slow. Right, forget that. We're having technical issues. We'll talk about it. And I'll have to look at my phone. So we've got Newport in 24th, Harrogate in 23rd. They occupy the 2 relegation places at the moment. Myself and Lee are both in agreement that we think they'll stay there for the rest of the season, or at least finish there when the season's end comes around. You then got Crawley in 22nd, Bristol Rovers, Barrow, Shrewsbury, Cheltenham up to 18th. There's then a 4-point gap to Tranmere Rovers in 17th. It then goes Oldham, Fleetwood, Gillingham and Accrington completing the bottom half. Top half of the table, Colchester in 12th, Barnet in 11th, Grimsby in the top 10, just behind Walsall and Chesterfield. Playoff places are occupied by Crewe Alexandra, Salford City, MK Dons and Notts County. The top 3 is Swindon, Cambridge and Bromley, who are still top of the league. Still look like they're not going to be caught. And they've got a 5-point gap to 4th, mate. It's going to take a big drop off from Bromley, isn't it? Much in the same way we can't see Harrogate and Newport turning it around enough to get out of trouble. I can't see a drop off sufficient enough from Bromley to see them not finishing the top 3 at least.
No, I think they're your champions anyway. If I'm honest, I think the 4.
Yeah, I back them, and I hope they are. I've said they're the best team in the division. I've not seen an outstanding team that's better than anyone else all season. Even the teams that have beaten us, but Bromley, I think, are in front of everybody. Here we go. It's finally working. So yeah, Bromley champions. Are we saying?
Yeah, Bromley champions.
Apologies to all Ravens fans. Now it goes catastrophically wrong that me and Lee have picked you to win the title with 15 games to go.
Yeah.
Mitchell's predicting a 4-1 win for Gills tomorrow, mate. I'll have half a pint of whatever you're drinking, buddy. Troy's going as well. See you there, Troy. Go, mate. Go.
Top 3. What are you saying?
I think Cambridge are consistent enough to stay in there. They don't look. They've only conceded 25 goals all season. They're a typical Neil Harris side that's difficult to beat. Doesn't score loads, but they're scoring enough to win 17 games out of 31. I think Swindon, bit in and out, they could drop out. If I had to pick one team from the top 7 to go into that top 3, it's still MK Dons for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Swindon will drop into the playoffs. I think MK it'll be in that top 3, just given the quality.
Anyone outside the playoffs getting in?
I think you'd have to look at Grimsby and
Grimsby at the moment.
Barnet, yeah. Walsall worry me. I think they've just dropped right off again. Chesterfield a little bit inconsistent.
Pole you a bit of wall. Accrington Stanley, I don't think they'll have a big enough squad. Gills aren't consistent enough. There you go then. So we're saying Bromley, Cambridge and MK Dons to go up. Notts County, Swindon, Salford and Barnet / Grimsby in the playoffs then?
Yeah.
Just so that everyone can bookmark it and tell us how wrong we are at the end of the season. Why not? We don't mind.
Yeah. Especially when Gills pop in.
I'll have a pint of what you're drinking, you lunatic.
I'll see you at Wembley, pal.
Remember, kids, drugs are illegal. Only way I'll see you at Wembley is if we book tickets for the National League final again. Right. I think we've covered everything. That was a decent array of subjects tonight, mate. Really enjoyed that one. So thanks to everyone who's watched. Still 20 of you as we've gone into 15 minutes of injury time. Really appreciate everyone's support as always. Like we always say, you can go and subscribe to Gills in the Blood TV and Around the Grounds. Lee, unfortunately, has had severe issues with his X account over the last few days. So if you can subscribe to this, go and follow his TikTok. We won't get him into that because we really need to finish the episode. But he's rightfully frustrated. So yeah, you can go and subscribe on YouTube, follow him on TikTok, follow him on Instagram. He has got a Facebook page as well. Go and support him on all of them because the content is still coming thick and fast. And yeah, if you want to subscribe to my channel as well, greatly appreciate it.
The content's still coming thick and fast on X. It's just not me.
It's not your content, yeah. And I can't check what the content is because they block me as well. So it's all fun and games. But yeah, good old Elon. Right, that's enough from us. As always, he is Lee. I am Matt. We will see you next week. And this has been the League 2 Hour. And of course,